Have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, boy, I wish Battle Spirits is much easier to learn, because I didn't. But of course you don't have to be a rocket scientist to tell that after 15 plus running years, Battle Spirits has become very, very convoluted. And I definitely did not share my opinion that Battle Spirits is still somewhat manageable to learn as they started the True World release project. So now in the Saga community, I noticed that some people are getting confused by the name of this project, which in Japanese is called Shinkaiho Project, which is translated into New World Release Project by some machine translator, which leads them to interpret it as a global release. So I just want to clarify that this is not the case. If you are familiar with Battle Spirit's catchphrase, Gate Open Release, the Japanese word for release in this context is Kaiho, which is supposed to have this kanji. But Bandai, with their infinite wisdom, used this kanji instead, which when in video translated means world release in English. Because lore-wise, you are playing Battle Spirits in a parallel universe, and you're releasing the seal of the gate to that world when you are about to play Battle Spirits. Now, this kanji Shin is supposed to mean true, but since it is a homonym with the Shin, which means new, the machine translation probably took that context and interpreted it as new instead, where they would introduce a new rotation cycle to the game, which is great for new players because they wouldn't need to deal with all the complex interactions and the infinite number of gimmicks before they even start the game. And this new rotation will be introduced in the standard format, while the Battle Spirits that we know and love will be continuing in the Eternal format starting from April 2026 onward. That would have been the end of the story if Bandai didn't think that they need to spice things up. Just to clarify, this video is meant to be a sort of summary from what we know in version 0 that is introduced on July 18, 2025, the official announcement on October 17, 2025, and all the information that has been distributed officially so far. So I'll be making a lot of comparison with the currently running, soon to be classic Rule of Battle Spirits. And this is not a comprehensive how to play video for the standard format of Battle Spirits, so do comment below if you actually want a comprehensive how to play video for Battle Spirits in standard format, and Ayumu will probably be forced to force me to make one. And while we also don't have any basic how to play video for the currently running Battle Spirits, our friends at CVGS have made a pretty solid how to play series, so I'm going to link them in the description below. So without further ado, here are some of the newly added rules and mechanics to the standard format of Battle Spirits. To start off, Battle Spirits have 5 different card types: Spirits, Ultimates, Brave, Nexus, and Magic, with hundreds of subtypes to follow them. So naturally, to simplify the game, we go back to the very early days of Battle Spirits, where they only have 3 card types: Spirit, Nexus, and Magic. You have one card type that can punch your opponent for you have one card type that cannot punch your opponent for you, and you have one that passive-aggressively stops your opponent from punching you. From among these cards, you may bring 3 of the same copies to make a deck of at least 40 cards. Yes, they actually listen for once and remove the silly exactly 50 cards and 4 copies limitation. Next up, now that you have your deck, in a game of Classic Battle Spirit, to start the game, you shuffle your deck, draw 4 cards, look at them, and decide who chose the play order with a random method. But starting with the introduction of Standard, you have one and only one chance to redraw your whole hand. Yes, we have Mulligan now. In order to Mulligan, after choosing who goes first, the player who goes first decide whether they want to do a mulligan. Then when both players have decided, the players who wanted to do a mulligan shuffle their entire hand and draw a new 4 cards hand. And of course, this will be implemented in Eternal as well. So if you are playing with contract cards, as they are part of your starting hand, they have to be shuffled as well. It might sound like a disadvantage if you play contract cards, but we'd like to encourage you to see this the other way around and see it as a way to level the playing field for non-contract decks. Now in Class Battle Spirits, you will be familiar with these 7 steps. Start step where you start your turn, core step where you gain a core, draw step where you draw a card, refresh step where you recover all of your exhausted bodies and return your cards from the trash to the reserve, main step where you play your cards, attack step where you attack your opponent, and end step where you end your turn. The biggest change in Standard will be the addition of the second main step after your attack step, which will help you to not get burned to the ground after you get countered during your own attack step, especially since at least up to this point, we don't have burst in Standard. Not only that, it allows you to summon new blockers. The second main step can allow you to trade your cards between your spirit so that you can power up your blockers using cards from the spirits that have already done attacking. And I suppose when you hear about the new mechanics that we will introduce next, things will make more sense. First of all, we have the titular mechanic, Shinkaiho, or the True World Release. True World Release is a state that a card can achieve when they reach a level that is associated with the True World Release condition. It was originally meant to replace the higher levels, but as expected, as level is one of the core mechanics of Battle Spirits, people were not happy about that. So they brought back the levels and added True World Release for some cards on top of that. That being said, they keep the alternative level condition. So for example, for this card, they will reach level 2 and the True World Release state if they have 3 of any core or your soul core on them. Succession or Legacy is a new mechanic that is designed to help you to get back on your feet after your opponent has wiped your field clean. When you are about to play a card with Succession, in addition to the reduction symbols on your field, you can banish cards from your trash that has one of the swanky EX symbols from your trash to fulfill one of its reductions. For example, if you want to summon this chunky boy while your field is empty, you can banish 3 cards with green EX symbols from your trash to summon it at 3 costs. Finally, we have the Soul Magic, which is probably the most intuitive thing for existing players, since it's just another mechanic using the Soul Core. Basically, when you fulfill its conditions, which usually requires you to have a symbol with the same color on your field, then you can use your Soul Core to pay the entire cost of the card. So for the case of this Flame Hurricane, if you have a Nexus with the red symbol on your field, you can either play it at 6 cost with its reductions or with your Soul Core instead. As the card pool grows, it will definitely be interesting to see how they can affect the Eternal meta as well. And now that I mentioned Eternal again, products that are released for Standard are available for you to use in Eternal as well, but that probably won't be enough for you. Just like me, waiting for a certain goddess to retain. So rest assured that in the near future, Eternal is planned to have 2 main sets released annually. So if you choose to play Eternal mainly, you will not only be eating good with everything that they release in Standard, but also with new stuff that will be exclusive for the Eternal format as well, starting with PS76 Radiance of the Eternal Emperor releasing on May 30th. Diva and collaboration fans are not forgotten either, as in 2026 alone, they have planned 2 Diva sets and 3 collaboration sets that will not only be legal in Standard, but they plan to match the power level to the cards in the Standard format as well. Moreover, if you are a fan of Commander Zeds, Ryuki, Kaim, or X8, we have a Star Direct plan for Zeds and a collaboration booster for the other 3. With all this new stuff, which format do you have to play, especially if you want to play competitively? If you are listening to the officials, they will ask you back, why not both? As not only both formats will have their own championships, they will be held on different time frames as well. So if you want to aim to be the champion of both formats, you can definitely do that and live your dream of being a dual wielder. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that we know so far that will be added to Standard. Of course, we only have seen a little bit of Standard so far, but we personally feel more comfortable with the direction that they took for the version 1 of Standard, especially compared to their version 0. At the very least, they listened a little bit. However, Ayumu, Amamiya, and me, we are all established players in Battle Spirits. So things that might make sense for us might not make sense to people who never played Battle Spirits. So what do you think? Does this change make things easier to understand? Will that help you to bring more people to the cult to play Battle Spirits? Are you excited for Standard or Eternal? Do let us know in the comments below. That has been everything from me, Theodore Lu, your host, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye!